A new bill on the table would lay down even stricter regulations on abortion.
Wesley Liv Johnson has been following this. She joins us live in studio. Liv, this bill is coming less than a year after DeSantis signed a bill outlawing abortion past 6 weeks.
That's right, and that law is still pending the outcome of a Florida Supreme Court decision. While Florida already has some of the strictest abortion laws in the nation, this bill would ban abortions from the moment of fertilization.
Republican Representative David Barrero introduced House Bill 1519 that says, quote, a person or an entity may not purposely perform or attempt to perform an abortion except to save the life of a pregnant woman in a medical emergency. Right now, Florida bans most abortions after 15 weeks, but takes into exception victims of rape and incest. This bill would take away that exception.
And these are really hard moments where a woman and her family should make decisions without political interference.
Barrero argues denying personhood for any stage past fertilization is a denial of rights guaranteed in the state constitution and the United States Constitution. He wants House Bill 1519 to replace the 6-week abortion ban approved in 2023. That bill still tied up before the state Supreme Court over whether the right to privacy enshrined in the state constitution includes a right to abortion. It's one reason why House Speaker Paul Renner told the media he doesn't believe this bill will make it all the way.
Culturally, I just don't believe we're in a place where we're ready to take that step. In a perfect world, I would love to see there be no abortions. We live in a fallen world, not a perfect world.
House Bill 1519 also calls for physicians who attempt to perform an abortion to be charged with a third-degree felony, facing a fine up to $100,000 and a prison sentence up to 10 years. The bill goes on to say it would be illegal for any person or manufacturer to sell abortion pills knowing it's likely to be used in the state of Florida. Democratic Representative Anna Eskamani says she fears how that might lead to an invasion of privacy.
Because does that mean someone's going to check your mail to see what you've received? How are they going to know that you've even been able to access medication abortion at home?
Now, the Florida Supreme Court is set to hear oral arguments next month over whether an abortion rights state constitutional amendment would qualify to appear on the November general election ballot. Stuart.